Hey everybody, welcome to Kitchen Talk with Granna. I'm so glad you guys can come up into the kitchen with me today. I hope everybody's having a great day so far. But before we get started, you guys know what the routine is. Go ahead, right down there at the bottom of your screen, go ahead, right down there, take care of that thumbs up button. Go ahead and share my video with all your family and friends. And if you have not become a follower of Granna, go ahead and hit that subscribe button to become one of my followers, okay? All right, so let's go ahead and get this conversation going on for today, okay? All right, so, we've talked about the schools reopening and, what people think if the kids should go back to school or not go back to school. Well, I was looking at this news. I was looking at the news today, and there was the governor of Missouri had made a statement on there about the schools reopening in his state. And I listened to this governor and I'm like, oh my God, something is wrong with you, okay? That's what I'm thinking in my head. But this governor of Missouri, he made the statement that, yes, children need to go back to school, schools need to reopen, and he believed that it's very safe for the kids to go back to school, and that even if a child should get the coronavirus during school, it's no big deal, that they will be okay. If they come down with the coronavirus, they will be sent home for the 14 days. He don't believe they would even require being hospitalized. He don't even believe that they would get sick or it would infect them enough, or they would have to seek hospital treatments and stuff. And I'm just listening at this man and I'm like, what the hell are you talking about? Where have you been? Have you not been watching the news? How can you sit there and make a statement saying it's okay for a child to go back to school, and if that child contact the coronavirus, it's okay, they'll be all right. They're not gonna get that sick. They can just go home for those 14 days. That should not stop the school from being opening. I don't know. I mean, you can clearly see that a lot of these decisions that's coming about with this, with the school being reopened, is a lot of politics involved with that also. I mean, you can see that these politicians are looking out for their own best interest. They're not looking out for the interests of our children. I mean, I don't know what his reason for making that statement, but from me on the outside looking in at what he's saying and reading between the lines, it seems to me that he is only looking at whatever funds or whatever grants he may lose for his state by the school system not opening back up. These politicians are not doctors. They're not scientists. They don't take the data. They're not the one analyzing and tracking all the COVID-19 cases that has taken place. They're not the ones keeping up with this information and putting it out there for us to see. And it's clear that that's a lie he was saying about a child not contacting the Corona-19. I mean, the Corona-19, this virus does not discriminate. Anyone can catch this virus. I mean, just a week or two ago on the news, they was talking about there was 85 infants, children out there in Texas that came down with the coronavirus. And out of that, one of the infants actually passed away, lost their life. This baby lost his life because of this coronavirus. So I don't know how some of these politicians can get on the news, on national TV, and make these statements. They clearly is not following the data that's being put out there and following the guidelines that they, on one hand, you want us to follow these guidelines and stay home, wear your mask, social distance, and then you want to turn around over here on the other hand, now coming up to August with school to open, send your kids back to school. Your kids is not going to contact the coronavirus. The coronavirus does not affect children the way it affects anyone else. That's just not true. That's just not true. Now true, the data may be showing where there is more people over the age of 30 that has already contacted this disease or may have already passed from the coronavirus, but it does not say that anyone under 18 or under 30 has not gotten this coronavirus. I just think that it's all about money. It's all about their fund and their state not getting the funds that they would get. You know, you're gonna tell me from all the way from March to now that we have to practice these specific guidelines to contain this coronavirus, just to slow it down, that we need to wear masks, we need to sanitize, we need to social distance, we need to stay at home, only go out to get your necessities. And then you want to turn around and basically tell parents that they really don't have an option, that they're going to reopen these schools and these kids are going to go back to school and they'll be okay. You know, that I do not understand that. I don't understand it. And I'm definitely not going to be listening to what no politician's saying. Yes, I am not a parent with a child in school at this time. My children are grown, but I have grandchildren that are in school from the first grade all the way up to middle school. So I have family members that will be going into the school system and would have been into the school system. Now, granted, I'm not saying that you should keep your kid home and yes, school should never open again. Okay, there are gonna be some parents that's really between a rock and a hard place. You know, they're not gonna have what it needs to homeschool their child, or they're not gonna have any extra finances to pay extra daycare or trying to get someone to tutor their child if they have to work outside the home. I understand all that, you know. I understand these are gonna be some very hard decisions for parents to have to make when it comes to their children. But most of the parents, you know, are, as a parent, of course you're gonna be looking out for your child and you wanna do everything that's gonna put your child in a safe environment, and you don't wanna take no chances. But they're really kind of like just laying it out there like, oh yeah, we're gonna open a school. We really don't really care what the parents saying. Yes, they throw out there, you could do virtual online, you know, you can do this or you could do that. And then on the other hand, they want to say, well, oh, you could open, your kids can go to school. We're going to open up the school because kids don't contact the coronavirus. That's a bunch of crap. That is a bunch of crap. And I don't know where they're looking at, where they're getting their information. I should have went back, and I didn't do this. I should have actually pulled up and saw what was the rate, the coronavirus rate in Missouri. And I'm gonna do that when I get through talking to you guys. But I know there's like 18 red states right now. There's 18 states on the red list for the highest as far as the contact or the people contacting this coronavirus and stuff. And I just, you know, I mean, I know they got that. I know I've heard our president say if these schools did not reopen, he was going to cancel all funding, all grants and all funds that go towards the school system. You know, so I guess they feeling threatened that if they don't open it up, then they won't get this money and all this, you know, and that just makes me feel like they are not caring about these children's life. They're not caring about these children because it's clear they cannot guarantee anyway that these children are going to be safe when they get back into the school system. Okay, I think that if they you know, kind of force or just leave one option out there for parents, then there's going to be the case rate is going to raise between school age kids. It's going to increase, you know, and that's, you know, that can happen anyway. You know, we don't know. That can happen as simple as taking your kids out from point A to get them to point B. They could contact the disease. But I just feel like it was really kind of crazy for this governor to come on national TV and make that statement, you know, that children does not contact the coronavirus. And I'm like, okay, I'm kind of listening to it and looking at the TV sideways, like, okay. So that's what you say, you know. You're not a scientist. You're not a doctor. You're not looking at this daily. And every day that you turn on the news, or some days you hate to even watch the news because you know you're going to be hearing more numbers going up with this coronavirus. You know, more number. When they first started out, it was just the old and the elderly that was getting that was contacting the coronavirus. You know, it wasn't anyone really the way they was talking about when it first started out. It was no one under the age of 50 contacting this virus. So that was proven not to be true. You know, we've seen the rate go up of younger people contacting this virus. We really saw the rate increase when they reopened up a lot of the things. You know, when they reopened up some of the restaurants, when they reopened up some of the bars, the beaches, over the Memorial Day weekend and all that. We saw that a lot of the younger generation started contacting this disease and testing positive for it. So, you know, I don't know. I don't get it. I don't understand it. I think, like I said, when it comes to politics, that's a whole different thing. And I know these politicians is always trying to get money for their states and, you know, and all these different grants and all this kind of stuff. But, you know, you can't do it at the expense of our children. You can't put our children out there on the target line and line them up and just wait for them to be, you know, be kicked off one by one. You can't wait. We as parents and grandparents is not going to allow that to happen. And like I said, you know, if there is some parents that has to actually start their kids back up into the school year, physically going into the school building come August, then, you know, we shouldn't judge them either, because we don't know their situation. We don't know, you know, why they made that decision. They could have 1,000,001 reason why they did that. So those parents should not be judged, you know, either. You know, every parent has to make the right decision for their child depending on their situation. You know, they have to make what's best for them, you know, and it could simply be maybe they cannot work from home. You know, their job is not, you know, where they can do that. You know, they do not have the tools that they need to online homeschool their kids. You know, it could be 1,001 reasons why they make that decision. So definitely, you know, we should not look down on those parents. You know, we're just gonna have to pray that all the children that do step back into the school buildings come August are safe, and they go and they come back and they do not contact this disease, and they're as safe as possible. But, you know, that's just something we're gonna have to pray about from this point on. But you guys, don't listen to some of these politicians and what they're saying, because if you listen to them and you actually read what they're saying, it's not about the safety of our children. It's more about the funds that they will not be getting for their states. Okay, I don't know if they have kids of their own that's in school or what, but I know when they're talking and if you listen to them, you can clearly see that they're more worried about the funds that the president has threatened to cut off for these states that do not reopen up the schools. Okay, so just a little something for you guys to think about. Okay, I hope everybody's having a great day today. If you do go out and about, make sure you're wearing your mask and make sure you're social distant, and just be kind to everybody that you come in contact with. Okay, I'm gonna see you guys next time around.